Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to Kill la Kill Episode 8 review. Dude, yo, Gamagori, whatever his name is, Era, okay? Era. I'm calling him Era. That's his name, Era. Gamagori. I can't say it. Gamagori. There he is. Gamagori Era. There. Jesus. Babe. I liked him. Well, I do like him. I can't say in the past tense. I still do like him. Because he is a cool black guy. Alright, he is. I mean, he has the blonde hair. Again, I mentioned before, for some reason, in like anime and manga, because you can't really tell manga because it's black and white, but for some reason, a lot of black guys have blonde hair. I have no idea why that is. But we move on. When he came out with his transformations, because again, all the 3 stars apparently they can all transform. He had 2 stages. He had a shackle regalia, then he had a surge regalia. And when this dude started talking about, yeah, punish me more, I like that. Yeah, the hardness, the climax. I'm like, wait, what? I was flabbergasted. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh no, don't make the black guy masochist, please. Oh no. And they did. I mean, at the end of it all, it was kind of cool because after he had reached his climax, we see him explode. This is getting. Oh boy. We see him, he explodes, and the whips that he has. So we see his transformation state of the Surge Regalia. And it's cool because it's like an explosion of the whips, but when you take a look at the whips, they look more like tentacles. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh fuck, what happened? Like, what's his whips that were whips? They look like tentacles. And I just noticed now how it's the black guy using the whips, and it's ironic in a lot of ways, and a lot of fucked up ways. But at the same time, so like, there's a lot of things in this episode I just noticed about Era. He has the whips, and he's black. Like most Japanese black anime characters, as of late, apparently he has blonde hair. When he transforms into his Surge Regalia state, his whips turn into like pretty much tentacles. And then he's a masochist. Then he has some weird like masochistic, like I don't know how to describe it. It's like some bondage outfit. Like he has a gag on and shit. Because we can see in the preview of next episode, he has like a gag on. And I'm like, dude, like, what's happening? And so, like, this means, so maybe Kiryuin's like a dominatrix. Like, I don't know what's happening. The dude's 20 years old, apparently, still in high school, because apparently he was a third year in middle school. And Kiryuin, she was the first year. He waited until she actually graduated high school so he could graduate high school. So he waited like 2 or 3 years before he went to high school, which is weird. Bro, it's like I still like him, but it's like he's not really painting a good picture of a young black male. I'm just saying, he's really not. But then again, I mean, maybe with the blonde hair, I can excuse him and say that he's mixed. Okay, yeah, let me just do that, right? I'll feel better. If I can say he's mixed, it's because he has the blonde hair. Alright, fine, fuck it. But it's just that still, it threw me off. And when you take out the whole race card, it basically, as a character, I still like him, but now I'm just like now I'm kind of on the fence with him. I really am. And actually, when it came to the whole thing about because I don't know what their names are. Like either like they're the 4 Divas or the Elite 4. I'm gonna go with the Elite 4 because it's more Pokemon based. I thought that he was Lance. I thought that he was like the last dude that they'd face, because we had Matoi, she had fought against Sagayama the first time over, and we know how that went. And I thought that he'd be like the first one to fight if they ever fought again. But now, it's very Pokemon-based now. It's like, so in order for her to face Gary Oak, okay? Or in, depending on which series you're watching, Green. Is it green or blue? Moving on. No, wait, it's green. It's green, yeah. Or Green, which is, of course, Kitori and Satsuki. She has to go against the Elite Four. And apparently, he's the first one. So the question here is, who's the Lance? Who's the last guy? Who's the guy who's rocking 3 Dragonites? It's probably Sanagayama. I'll probably say him. Because the girl with the music power, I don't see her being... I don't think she's as powerful as Sanagayama. Sanagayama, his ability speaks for itself, okay? Alright, the Senringan, the Mind's Eye, is so damn powerful. It's not even fair. Now, this guy, you know, Ira, he has his hardness. Listen. The fan service in the show, it goes both ways, okay? That's very obvious, okay? Now, there's a lot of fan service that, you know, is for guys, because we have Matoi, and we have Kitori, and they're ass and tit shots everywhere. Alright, TD just bouncing and flapping in the wind and panties always up, okay, fine. But, I mean, look at the Sailor uniform, for Christ's sakes. But, at the same time, there's plenty for chicks. I mean, they got Nudist Beach over here. They got Nudist Beach! And, when it came to the transformations of Sanagayama, this guy, bare ass naked. He had stars in his face and he was posed off and shit. I'm like, dude, come on. So the fan service goes both ways, and that's very obvious. And in this case, it wasn't really a visual fan service, but I guess it was more of an audio, mental fan service when it came to females, because he's just talking about hardness and he likes being punished and then erect and then climax, and I'm like, dude. So I mean, if you're a girl and you're into the whole, because I know like 3 girls that are actually into that whole dominatrix thing, which honestly, to each his own, seriously. So just do you, okay, man? Just now, the other things in the episode, we actually learn a little bit about we actually see like a real time. No, not real time. We actually get a flashback of Ryuko and what happened to her specifically. Where when she was a child, her mother died. We don't know how, but her mother died when she was of young age. Well, did they mention? Well, I don't know if they mentioned whether or not how she died, but we know that she actually died. And her father put her in a boarding school, apparently. And apparently she actually lived in a mansion, so she was well off. But, well, stuff happened pretty much. And she spent all the time in the boarding school. Apparently she became a delinquent. And one day she got a call from her father saying, come back to the house. She goes in there. Her father has the scissors blade inside of her. And he's telling her basically the stuff that we found out beforehand. And how he wanted to tell her stuff. But when she sees someone else running around the halls, she deviates completely. So had she had stayed there and learned more information from her father, then she could have actually, you know, made more progress in her journey. But at the same time, she may have died because there was an explosion. So her father, the way it seems now, he didn't die from the stab wound, which was the way it was hinted at the beginning of the series. More or less, it seems like he died from the explosion itself. Now, when it comes to the other part of the chapter that's also flashback, apparently, Ira and Kitori, they went to the same middle school, Rinne Do Middle School. Kind of reminds you of the Rinnegan, but whatever. Rinne Do Middle School. And she had, her family was very influential back then, where apparently her family, because like there were these punks, and basically 2 of the punks, they had well-off fathers. I think one father owned like a company, and the other father was a police officer. And then both of them were pretty much screwed over by the Kirin family. The Kirin assimilated that guy's company, and the father, who was a police officer, got kicked off the force. So pretty much when this guy was going to commit suicide, I was like, no. And then apparently the Kirin products, so their company, so I don't know if that's their only company that they own, the Kirin family, because it seems as if they own a lot of stuff aside from just one particular company. But regardless, they have a product company. And so she used a trampoline that her family made in order to save this one individual. So this may also mean that when we saw her mother, because that was obvious, like when we saw her mother like in like this huge building in the middle of a city, very like spiral energy reminiscent of Tenant, like it was like coiling up. The thing here is that, well, but like more of like a net fashion, like where we see in the openings and the endings of the series, where again it's the people holding hands and like they turn into like the nets that kind of like surround people when they're transforming with the Kamui, aka Satsuki and Ryuko. But the thing here is that maybe that has something to do with like her company of the products. Now that was a few years ago, but again, I'm trying to make these deductions here based on what little we know about the Kirin family. And I did get a few PMs during the course of the week after episode 7. Some PMs told me about how when it came, and I know I'm backpedaling here, but apparently when it came, I mean, this person may be right. When it came to the 2-star Goku uniform of Matoi when she got it, apparently hers is so powerful because it's a fighting-based 2-star uniform. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know. But when you take a look at the Pottery Club, or when you take a look at the Poem Club and their 2-star uniforms, they were shit. The Folklore Dancing Club, they were shit 2-star uniforms. But because Matoi had a combat 2-star uniform, hers were more powerful. Now, or hers was more powerful. Granted, I don't know if that's the case or not, but what I can say is that it is a possibility. Or it could be because of the innate combat power that Matoi has. So, or Mako. I meant Mako. Yeah, not Matoi, Mako. So, that's interesting. And then the second thing is that I got a few PMs that were saying something along the lines of, it seems as if like Kirin Satsuki actually wants Ryuko's help. But this is all like a training process. This is all like an initiation process for something even greater. Because we've made a lot of progress so far in the story because of the fast pace of the actual series. And it may have to involve her father or her mother. Probably her mother, because I think her father is dead. Satsuki's mother. I mean, her father. I think that he's dead. Satsuki's father. But that's my assumption. Granted, what I can say is that when you take a look at the series Tenant Gurren Lagann and the dramatic changes that show made over the course of 10 episodes or 15 episodes, then we can say that the same thing may apply to this series, where they may make a huge dramatic change and all of a sudden things that were are no longer. So I actually do at some point see Satsuki and Ryuko teaming up together to fight against some kind of, some common enemy, which may be so powerful that they need 2 god uniforms, 2 Kamuis. So, but who that enemy is, I'm not too sure. Again, I think it has to relate to her father. Actually, no, both their fathers probably. Both Ryuko and Satsuki's father. And the main enemy may be their mother. Because if you remember how we have Kirin Satsuki, she's talking about the wedding dress. Who's to say that her mother didn't get that same wedding dress or didn't get a similar wedding dress? And so maybe she's like an almighty, all-powerful Kamui wearer, and then like she's dominant and she's trying to control the world. And we have Kirin and she herself trying to counterbalance her mother. I'm not too sure. But I'm trying to make some assumptions here. That's for sure. But either way, the episode itself, it was funny, of course, as usual. And the whole process by which they go about the natural selection process was, of course, like skipped over like 15 times over because again, it's fast paced. Like you see people just taking out 2-star Goku uniforms. There's actually one still frame I'll show you right here. You see this still frame? It's like these girls are trying to rape all these dudes. Like seriously, it was like a pack of schoolgirls trying to rape a pack of school dudes, and it just threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in this school right now? And all the time, Kirin Satsuki, she's hiding within this high impulse life fiber barrier, which I understand what it was, but I forgot the actual name of it. But I know that it's life fibers that are finely chopped, moving at like 100 meters per second. So, and no one can penetrate the barrier. Fair enough. So, but now it's gonna be like, again, like the Elite Four in Pokemon. It's gonna be, okay, so now it's the water person, and then after that's the bug person. After that is the fighting guy, maybe, or the rock guy. I forget. It's been a long time. But I know Lance is last, right? 3 fucking Dragonite. So, and I think it's Sanagayama. Or actually, probably, maybe even Inumuta too. Because this guy, he's able to take out a 5-star Goku Uniform. I mean, a 5-star person with ease. Like, it was penetrating. Spear. So, who knows? We'll see. But the overall rating for this episode, the pacing is, as usual, fast. Very fast. But at the same time, that's why he's been from Jump Street. So you can't really complain because it's been away from Jump Street. And there's no, again, from my knowledge, there's no manga to base it on. So the pacing, I did like it. When it came to the animation, of course, as usual, on point. At some point, like, the sky just turns red. And it's like, fuck it. Like, yeah, like, we're gonna have, like, these 5 pillars. Like, if you can make it on top, you get a 3-star Goku Uniform, or something like that. And then it's like, fuck it. Of course, it's like the actual Elite Four, then Ryuko. Like, yeah, fuck it. So everyone else that had potential, fuck you guys. Throw them to the wayside. Fuck off. And, of course, animation was good. And when it came to the overall story progression, they did make a lot of progression in the story. So my rating for this week's episode of Kill la Kill, I'll probably give it a good. It was a good episode. So I'm done King Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, peace. Have a nice day.